Good evening. I'm calling to order the Greenway Advisory Committee meeting for June 18th, 2018. We do have a quorum. We're going to go to AC, who's going to talk to us a little bit about our favorite project, the Greenway.
Well, there's not a whole lot to report other than, there's still a few discrepancies that the administration and the contractors are trying to work out. I believe most of those are on signage at this point. They have replaced a lot of the issues that we had. They put the pavement back in place, and they have created a berm so that now the water will go up and over rather than under, and which will be super beneficial. And they've went back and filled in along all the walking trails so that you're not stepping 2 feet off if you happen to get off the trail a little bit. So all of those things look to be repaired and safe. But as far as, they're just, the city's just not quite ready to sign off on it just yet. And there are some back and forth like on a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Also, the Underpass, which has been a huge issue for many people, has actually been cleaned out. And this is both sides of it, both the actual drainage side and the pathway side. So it looks a lot nicer. If you haven't had a chance to go down there and look at it, it actually should be flowing a little bit better because they've cleaned out a lot of that, so it shouldn't back up into the actual walkway. Stormwater and engineering are working on that. Even though we don't have it signed off, they're able to go in there and look at things, take measurements, but they're working on trying to find a permanent solution for that. With the new townhomes right there in that area, of course, that's going to affect a little bit of how drainage is. So I'm sure whenever they finish, they have a permanent solution in place. But if you haven't had a chance to go down there and look at that. It looks very nice. I know one of our audience members was down there taking some photos just today. So.
And do it before it rains again.
Yes.
So you can see it. And I was down there with Kyle, the assistant city administrator, earlier, and I was curious as to how stormwater could work down there when we hadn't signed off on this yet. And he told me that if it was in so many feet of active running stream, that trumped actually being signed off on it, because that's our responsibility. So the fact that it's so close there, that's why stormwater was able to do that. As far as us going in and doing certain things, we can't do anything yet because it's not been signed off on yet. So
some of the problems that AC was mentioning with the signs, basically one sign was used for virtually every spot. So regardless of where you stood on the Greenway, you were always right by the library. So if you were on the roundabout, you were halfway through, you're always by the library. That was an oversight. There was some misspelling on some signs. Some that were supposed to be waterproofed weren't waterproof. You could see water getting in. So
that's just about all of them.
Yeah, and so whenever we talk about there's a few things left, those are those minor things that we're trying to finish out so that we can have a grand opening and have everyone using it. I know that a lot of people are already on it, but we want it officially opened and taken over by the city. And as far as the completion date, I know Kyle was reaching out. He made several phone calls today trying to get that date back. Between the contractor, he wasn't able to reach them, so he doesn't have a final date yet. I'm sure as soon as we do get that, we can just email that out to the group as well.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as we're done with it, I want to go ahead and try to set up the grand opening. It's getting bigger by the minute because it keeps getting pushed back. So, but we'll do that down in the large park and the big parking area up, set up tents and we'll.
Mm-hmm.
So once it is actually completed and signed off on, what will be left for your department to do? I know we'd planted trees and they all went away. Will those come back?
That was part of the original grant. They all got washed away. So for as far as my department in maintenance, we'll have to install some benches and garbage cans.
Okay.
We have to go in and put all those things in, and then
And also the cameras we had talked about
the
earlier.
trail cams that I have sitting and waiting, we'll go out and find the best places to put those, and we'll install those. So, but those are the main three things that my department has left to do. And as far as I think Public Works and maintenance is cutting it actually. They're mowing it, but it's going to be a joint effort to do the rest of the stuff. So
And
No,
then
I had seen at one point somewhere, and it may already be done for the year, where you could purchase trees at some point. So if that comes back around, or they were giving them away, if citizens wanted to do that, could they donate them in the future, depending on what
Stormwater
kind of
does
tree?
that.
Okay,
I think Catherine does that over in Stormwater. She reaches out and says, hey, occasionally that she has some leftover trees from some projects that they're doing, but it depends on the tree and depends, you know, on the, where we can put it, you know, but yeah, at this point, we can put anything just about anywhere once it's signed off on.
okay.
So,
also to touch base on the benches and trash cans, those are in, the city does have those. They're
I've been
just in
storing
storage
those for
right
the
now.
last few months.
And those things will be bolted
Yeah,
down?
they're all steel. The benches and the trash cans themselves, we'll just put bags in. They're you've seen them in Parks and Rec. There's
Yeah.
slats on the sides and they're all bolted down to the concrete.
Just things that cannot be removed, or?
Well, I won't say that because that last rain we had, that removed a lot of stuff I didn't think it could remove either. So.
Parking lots aren't supposed to be removed, but it removed them.
I know.
But for the most part, yeah, they'll be pretty sturdy.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, guys. Well, call this meeting adjourned.